If you have not been to Oka in the last 1 month, you should go. You should take your children for Christmas. Because what you can find in California is now in the fourth city in Anambra State. Because Okoko used to be a slum that nobody could pass. Today, Okoko is now like a first-class neighborhood. Because I can go on and on and on and on. And that is why 4 plus 4 must be 8. That said, I will hand the mic over to the president so that he can do the needful. Thank you, sir.
Anambra, where's one? Our Claus governor. Okay, chairman. What you are definitely Anambra in Washington DC, and the board in Anambra. Thank you, sir.
Anambra when? Nigeria when? Ndị anyị nọdụla when? Anyị eluzoro na ọjị na gọvanọ anyị bịara iche ịkọwala anyị ọpụta anyị ebe ọ na-alụ n'ụlọ through the documentary. That documentary was any further explanation, but it's very comprehensive. One thing I can take from it immediately, can you Soludo those That is the challenge on your hold the line everything and then for the past 3 years. And projects for the next 4 years. When you need a challenge, Natanu, key in the diaspora in the Anambra, can you Soludo Luciaba? And you have to watch. No, you're a diabetic. Have a visitor. First thing you do is you welcome the person who can call them back. Okukuo ndị anyị na-abaghị. Okukuo ndị anyị na-abaghị. N'omenala Igbo, klasụla anyị wuo ọjị, tọọ ọjị. Wee nabata ndị be anyị bịara na gọvanọ anyị bịara. Mr. Governor, ọjị abịa. Ọjị nwa kọba n'ọtọ na mba anyị
Well, that's Omambala.
Your Excellency. I'm chairing the occasion.
Yes.
I will represent part of our cultural heritage. Ndi Omambala. I charge 9 and a half years. Otherwise, so no you got watch again, my coach. MC. Women are mine, like I said, women are my okay. Okay. This will go for all those.
You like that one?
Igbo bụ Igbo ọnụ ma na epụta ha ihe Igbo nwere iwu awa hekwọta so anyị nwere nwaanyị riri ya ụgbọ okenye anyị bụ Onowu Enugu Agidi Dr. Christian Nwankwo Onowu
a sị na ọkụ agwọ nwata n'aka na-abụrụ ya amakwa ma ọgwụ ka ụlọ ọ na-ekwu ego m ọchị a yawa n'ọchị biko onwe onye agụkwụ n'ebe a na wepụtara nri ọchị ọkwa enukwukwana ya mbịa nwere
Kanyelwe, sir. Kanyelwe.
Ọkwa gọvanọ will go to.
Yeah.
Udutu. Ọ dịkwa ka onwe onye ọzọ ga-enye ọjọọ. Ihe asịrị sụpọ n'ebe a. Udiri ya ọjọọ onwe.
What you read? Look up.
Asị ekerekwana ọjị a etu o si ru onwe nke ya afọ a ga-awa awa ya asị m ka udu wepụtara ndị ọzọ onye ọbụla ọbụla ma na ọjị rorie biko ma ndị chiri echi ma ndị niile ọ maka na oge ndị niile chiri echichi ewepụtara ụgwọ ọjị nwoke mụ na ya mere na ya ga-ezigara onye ọgwụ odika anaka Anambra kwezuonu ụmụnne ya zụrụ ịbụra na onye njikọrọ ji n'aka na-agbachikwa iwe ya emeri ya nke mbụ na ndụ gọvanọ anyị ndụ na ndị be ndụ mụ na ndị be m ndụ onye ọbụla ebe a nọ ndụ anyị na ndị be na ndụ ka eji ejere onye awesa Chukwu mere anyị ife ọma Chukwu mere anyị ife ọkpọsọ ụtụtụ Chukwu mere anyị ife ọma kpọsọ efi emere anyị ife na ọbụla anyị kwụ ka anyị nwere Chukwu metere anyị ife ọma na mara anyị ọjọọ mana onye ka iwu mmadụ ịbụrụ na okwu gọvanọ okwu ji bịa ebe a nụwa okwu ezigbo ịbụ foto anyị nchekwa ihe anya n'udo wee kọntine wee na-eme na-arụ ọdụgbọ ọrụ na-arụ anyị Chukwu enye anyị ndụ enye ogologo ndụ enye ihe amamihe inwerubere nwere ihe arụ ike nye ndị Anambra anyị na-arụ ike udo ka a na-achọkwa na sefti onwe na-achọrọ udo n'ebe a udo ka a na-achọ ewenasị na ọ ya dịrị anyị mma ihe ọ bụla ị na-emere anyị gọvanọ ọ ya pụta ihe dịrị anyị mma anatakwanụ a na-enjọ ya enwe na ngwere nọ n'ahụ nọ n'agụ ọ nọ karịa ọwụrụ gịnị ọwụrụ ngwere ahụ anyị nọkarịa okwenye ụfọdụ n'ime ya na-echekwa 40 years ụfọdụ akọsị 50 years ụnụ agụwago anyị mgbe ọkwanụ ụnụ agụwago anyị Asị mba anatakwana ebe onye nwude ti na pọta na but. Isi kebe nke na asị mba anatakwana ibe na anyị nyere nke akịta anyị ana. Chukwu enye anyị ọdọ n'iru onye nye anyị ya edu ya na na ya nọka ibe na-agụ ahụ anyị ahụrụ anyị chọrọ ịwụ mkpụrụ ahụ. Gona were ekele Chukwu dole. Ife aka na-arịọ asị ọjọọ ka so onye nwanyị.
No. What you guys don't realize is when an elderly Igbo man wears a red cap and is blessing the kola nut, he is in the order of a priest. And so our red cap means a lot. When he's blessing the kola nut with the red cap, he is in the order of a priest. No. Ladies and gentlemen,
ọjị na-eje ije biko ọjị ga-eru onye ọbụla aka biko mee ka ọjị ruo onye ọbụla aka ka anyị ọrịa biko onye ọbụla kwanyere onwe respect is a reciprocal onye ọbụla kwanyere onwe a na-eme ife listen pay attention is a disrespect to yourself and to other people biko na anyị ji opportunity na recognize someone like GBU Adinoba from ihe ala niile anyị ekene ya President Nasa USA anyị na-ekene ụnụ asọpọtụ mọ anyị ekene ụnụ nọ anyị mara na omena nọ biko ka anyị gaba n'iru moving on.
Thank you so much, Applicant. You borrowed the title of Ndi Umuziga Ogo. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to move on. I have just been informed that Chief Onyi Erinne is here with us. He is the president, ASA USA. Mr. Erinne, please, can you wave your hand? Let's welcome you. You're welcome, sir. Gentlemen and ladies, we've come to one of the pivotal points of this evening's celebration. I want to tell you about our governor.
Anambra bueno. Anambra muano. Zuano. Kachano. Thank you very much. Because the 6th of July, okay? We can celebrate the 4th of July. Happy, is that National Day or Independence Day? Independence Day. I know Independence Day. Independence Day. Happy Independence Day. Number 2, we can only mean rapoli feni no metana. The notice was very short, extremely short, because it was only probably Monday, Tuesday that I confirmed that I was going to be here. And to have you leave all that you need to do today, Sunday, to be able to resume work. Several must have traveled to different places to leave all to be here. I must say a big thank you to all of you. Big thank you for this sacrifice. I must appreciate, while appreciating all of you, but very especially also to appreciate the Church Affairs, Ambassador Samson Iteboje, whom since I would say late last night, early hours of this morning, has been quite an incredible host. You know, picked me up from the airport, shepherded me down to the hotel and then came back again here to bring me to this venue. That's representative of the finest of professionalism in our foreign service. Ambassador and your team. And to appreciate the ASA USA, my dear executive, my DC, my national, all of you who have left everything to be here. I must say that as I look around, I can recognize quite a few. I used to be part of this environment, maybe some 35 years ago. 1991 was also when I arrived here, I think 20th of January 1991, at the Brookings Institution. Spent quite a while there through to 92 and left to the UN, back again to the IMF, back to the World Bank. But this beltway, DC, I've lived in DC, I've lived in Maryland, I've lived in Virginia. All corners of the beltway. This is home for me until I joined government in 2003. This was like home. So for me, it's really great homecoming. And I'm very excited to see all of you. Very excited to see all of you. I was asked to choose a place to have this town hall meeting. It has to be the DC area. I know that there are other parts of the US that probably have larger concentrations of our people, but here for me holds a special place. And let me also appreciate Professor Joasike. He and I have come a very long way. In this journey, some of you know I mean, the journey to this particular office is a very long one, but I will tell, a little bit of it that pertains to him. When people talk about, I think the day the Aguilera people visited me, a team, I told them the story of my relationship with my predecessor. And I told them that the journey has part 1 and part 2. Part 1 was between me, my predecessor, and Professor Asike. And then part 2 was me, my predecessor, and Father Manafa, as it were. And that's quite a complicated journey. Well, he started off, but unfortunately, by the time it was now time for me to run, he had left office and come back here, and I haven't seen him since then. And I was just teasing him here now that, it looks like the pressure of that office when he was there, because he was chief of staff to my predecessor. And now I'm looking at him, and he's aging backwards. He's aging backwards. He's getting younger. Yeah, Prof, I can never forget that your faithful visit to my residence in Abuja, where a fraternity persuaded me that I should step out forcefully to support his brother to go for a second term. And that he felt that after his brother's thing that I should, in his own words, he didn't see anybody that could take off with him. And he offered to arrange a meeting between me and his brother. And the next time I was headed down to Anambra, I called him and he said, maybe on your way to Anambra through Enugu, please stop by. And I stopped by. The three of us had a chat. And my predecessor in his characteristic way, he caused this threat I said, you know, Prof, even I'm going back, just support them, and just second them, just if you believe I'm just second them, if I support them, just second them, finish it, if you believe we go straight, and we started the journey. I told him, let me think about it. It took 2 months, from September to November. Finally, November 20th, the three of us again. I think the wife joined us later, upstairs, Glade. That was the day that I finally then accepted the proposal to step out and support him for his second time. And I understand it. That's the day we had the handshake. And he followed up with a visit to my village on the 3rd of January 2017, when my father had the famous Ogolai. The rest is history. So seeing him beside me here now, you can see the sense of it's quite a journey. It's quite a journey. It's often it's a long story. When I tell history, twice well ever. One of you gets this year. One of you gets called the story without mentioning Professor Asike. I don't know if you get me. Yeah, you cannot tell that story without mentioning Professor Asike. He was so passionate about his brother and very desperately wanted his brother to go for a second term, and needed all hands to be on deck to help him get there. And I think he organized the 10-year anniversary lecture that I delivered. I ended with the zinger: if it unbroken, why fix it? Yeah, why change it? Okay? You are a great man, Prof. And Anambra. When we talk about what has been done here and so on, he shares in the credit. I love that. That's the reason I'm talking about this. We don't forget. I don't forget. Anyone who plays a role in your journey of life, never you forget. And part of the reason I am here, I've come here to have this interactive session. But I have a secondary purpose for being in DC. Multiple purposes. Tomorrow I will have some meetings at the board and some other things. But one of the primary ones for me is that I will be something that I have wanted to do for the last 3-4 years, to visit my boss and mentor at the Brookings Institution. The man, again, can't write about my history without him. Dr. Ralph C. Bryant. When I arrived here, 20th of January 1991, the history of how I wrote my proposal to the Brookings and his invitation for me to come. And when I arrived, he picked me up at the train station. I came in from New York, flew into DC, showed up here, and then picked me up. I lived with them for 11 days before I got an apartment to live, 91, and they have remained like as parents to me. He just lost a wife, and he himself, in his late 80s, I said, I must pay homage to this man about whom I can write my history. And tomorrow I will have that honor for me to be almost like a fulfillment. Give me great joy to visit with him tomorrow and so on. But what is the purpose of this meeting? Purpose the Anambra, Bokai, and Tokotana alone. We've been in office now for 3 years and 3 months. 3 years and 3 months. And what you saw, I think they put this thing together, I would say they were valid up to As you could see, they were referring to 34 months, which means even before my 3rd year anniversary. But I'm seeing the figures, I'm seeing the photos, so obsolete, as it were, but that is it. It's for us as in the Anambra. We are all partners in this project, Anambra. We are all partners. I am Anambra. Obone bu Anambra, nwere onye nwe ichekwa. Ọlụ Chukwu dele mụ na gị, ọlụ dele mụ na gị. I am Ikemba. I'll come to you in a second, because part of our model for development is what we call PPCP, Public-Private Community Partnership. Public-Private Community Partnership. And you've listened to the presentation. It's to get your feedback as well. It's interactive. Answer your questions. Provide further information. There are some of you, weren't they not out? So if ever I go involve on social media, offer you to Tiamambu, I say about that, not that as you rightly said, I will offer you go. In my inaugural address, I did say something. At the end of my inaugural address, that I have come to contribute to building a state where I will personally want to live, retire. This is where I want to live the rest of my life. That's my mission. That's part of my mission. Believing that God in His infinite wisdom didn't make a mistake in making us a Anambra. God did not make a mistake. And so the thing is to offer. I have stepped out to offer. And I wanted the context is that we're all, I just in a diaspora. Their own conversation seems to be driving us. I'm just listening to you when you finish. We'll continue. Yeah, that's not fair. That's not a good one. If you want to have a conversation, you can step out. Have your conversation and come back. But if you are in the session, then I think Adromo is here as well. Oh, well, Emma, on this session, I was debating with my chief of staff. I was set to come here by 2:30. By 2:30, I was dressed. They keep calling me Mchelo. Because I said, no, I need to be there by 3. The event is scheduled to last for 4 hours, between 3 to 7. And that I needed to be there by 3. I said, I just came, I was at the lobby, waiting for calls and so on and so forth. But that's part of Udetu Aimasi and man. Now this because Eba Onubi. If I schedule law by 3, you schedule law meeting within the other by 3. You are seated before 3. Is your book as but all Kebai schedule by 3. By 3:30, where they say, oh, the guy might deliver by 3. Now, I want you to think about this. It sounds trivial, but I want you to think about it. And we all wonder why we are not developing. Because it gets into everything that we do. It gets into everything. Here, everything is to time and productivity. You know, as you are, I remember in those days at the World Bank and at the World Bank and at the IMF and so on. I mean, people don't just walk into your office or even your phone. That's not the place to answer the phone. Personal stuff. Well, Because you are using the time you are paid for. You can't use it to be dealing with your personal things, isn't it? But I went in Africa, and you better not face your well, hey, another bank for another 2 hours on the time that is being paid for. And we expect our place to become America tomorrow. But I'm just, this is a footnote, by the way, that they say development is culture. Culture is development. Because in the end, Anambra garden man, I need them. Or garden job, not getting. It will become what we want it to be. Whatever we dream collectively for it to be, can be. And part of what I want to invite you, all of you, today, my message, I don't want to repeat what you have already heard here. It's just to put a few quick footnotes. And because this is scheduled to last till 7, okay? I want to believe that the hall is reserved up until 7 p.m., okay? And I will just make a few remarks and open it up to question and answer, because I'm more interested in getting your feedbacks than anything else. That's why I was just giving a sign that we cut it as short as possible. Let me rehearse one thing. The central message I want you to go home with this issue of collective responsibility. Governor today, governor will be out tomorrow. Think about how many governors we've had. Say moving, say revolving door. You are in, you will be out. Others will come. One day maybe a Geneva. But so this collective responsibility is one thing that I want us, and we need to have that collectively shared vision of our state. For me, when you hear African Dubai-Taiwan, it's a vision that we put together in 2006. 2006, I was the keynote speaker at the League of Anambra Professionals at Oka. They had their investment summit. I was the keynote speaker. And the title of my speech, which was published as a booklet, is entitled Envisioning Anambra State as the African Dubai-Taiwan Silicon Valley. It's published, circulated, 2006. Next year will be 20 years. There we saw Anambra, when you talk about Dubai, the vision of Dubai, original vision of Dubai, was to be a commercial logistics hub. Anambra in itself, already, locationally, it's a hub. We're boundary with the north through Kogi, boundary with the south-south, southwest through Delta, Edo, that axis. We have boundary with rivers through Obaru, and we have boundary with 3 southeastern states. Little wonder Onitsha could easily become the largest market in West Africa. So in terms of commerce, which Dubai deliberately set out to become, and the logistics, we have a potentially navigable inland waterways, the River Niger. Shagari commissioned the the river port in 1982. It has not been operational. We're still working on that and trying to get the federal government to dredge it so that it can become. So we saw that logistics commercial hub. That's the Dubai component. But the Silicon Valley aspect of it is the fact that the future belongs to the world of technology. And in the Anambra, we are. Go to anywhere you have these tech hubs and so on around Nigeria and all over the world, even the African MSC, you will find in the Anambra very, very, if they are not dominant, they will be very, very significant. And that we can turn our homeland to become so. We have very small land mass have the second smallest landmass after Lagos. So, large-scale agriculture, whatever, and we have the highest population density after Lagos. Second highest population density. But you know, in terms of landmass, Lagos is reclaiming the ocean and expanding. We are shrinking because of gully erosion. About a third of our land is encumbered, either in active gully erosion or being threatened. So how we manage the land in terms of the prospects for the next 100, 200 years, our future, will have to lie in the area of technology. Technology, industrialization. But this will not happen without the fundamental infrastructure of human capital. This is where Taiwan comes in. Taiwan is a tiny place, not much natural resources, but they mine the human capital up to the level that they now turned it to build one of the most industrialized islands ever. That's the ecosystem, the nexus of our vision for Anambra. Now, Anambra can be a combination of all this, building on our human capital. The Dubai during the Civil War, what even Dubai manufactured? If only Nigeria built on that, I don't think Nigeria got that one today. But we can still be that within the context of Nigeria. But all require for our people to be conscious, to be thinking home, and for us to come together to say, may I able, and whatever we will and we want to be, we can be that in the context of a prosperous, united Federal Republic of Nigeria. We can be anything we want to be. That's that vision. So when we say ADTS, African Dubai-Taiwan Silicon Valley, that's what it is. I am thinking not about 3, 4, 5 years, and following my that 3rd year anniversary lecture that I gave, where I endorsed my predecessor for his 2nd term. One of the things I proposed there was that Anambra needed a 50-year development plan. And subsequently, he said he liked it and invited me to chair a committee to do that, and I did. And we produced Anambra Vision 2070. This is the first administration to now begin to put some pillars for that Anambra Vision 2070. But in my eye, everything we do, if you ask anybody in our government, what I do see, or I keep asking, how will it turn out in the next 100, 200 years or so? Here, the Beltway where you are, DuPont Circle, the Brookings Institution is on 1775 Mass Avenue, there in DC, just around DuPont Circle. DuPont are French, Lafayette Square, and they are French town planners and architects who designed this whole area more than 200 years ago. You can imagine how many persons are in this whole area 200 and something years ago. You go to London and you see, I'm sure, designed maybe over 1,000 years ago. You can imagine how many persons were there. But the master plan, till today, the place can be home to tens of millions of people per month. And yet people are moving around, using sewage, using, generating waste, sewage, and so on and so forth, and moving around. This was planned more than 1,000 years ago. And we must begin that process of building to last. Buying or in the estate, part of that culture. I used to tease and make a joke. No bolona buying the Hyde Park in London. Hyde Park has been there for over 1,000 years. Or all these parks that you find all over this place. Obulisioji, parks are in preserve. Ejem America gas weekend. Almost see America get Gabai. I think of wife also. All by can and there the Hyde Park. Park is zone to be a city of Quacker and not in a site or the west. Royal shop, royal shop. And not in a shop, and not in a site. On the west. But all back over there. Whereby we generate the waste of Jawunia and drainage. I don't want to believe in ECOG, but if they wrong with us, but I think we must deliberately be able to say, we must deliberately say, we must be intentional, we must be very intentional, very deliberate about building that next society that we want to do. So when we have that dream, our vision for Anambra would to turn it from being a departure lounge to a destination. It has to be that it's constantly a departure lounge. You know what I'm about, on your party, but we must collectively create it to become. So when you see us, and like I said, to dualize all the trunk arrows to the Anambra, it is thinking that 100, 200 years to come. So on and so forth. In the next 30, 40 years, you can't move anywhere. When we decided to invite the CPCS of Canada to design the real master plan for Anambra, it is thinking about that next 100, next 200, 1,000 years to come. We must be building to last. We must be laying the foundations to last. Everything that we are doing, when you see us going to invest in building the the Solution Fund City, I'm sure some of you saw the unveiling a few days ago. Did you see those? Yes. What is the somebody was telling me, somebody said, if I shot no rope, but you okay, just set the background. Well, you never background. As you go sit in no, at the heart of the city. I said, tip of the iceberg. We are coming. There is a bigger one that is going to occupy 100 to 200 hectares of land. It will be a city that people will fly to go to Anambra, to go and spend 2 weeks or so for holiday. We must deliberately, we're now designing a new city park, Norca. A city then where all places for leisure were a dead city. It's a dead society. So you can't be anything. What is taking us to be able to, Gloria, yes. Why do I follow Gloria, but during the festive season, it's not for 4 or 5 hours. You can't go anywhere. Everybody now, even just at the heart of the roundabout, 14 petrol stations. I won't say that. Building material, everybody. Now that's them. So I've had the fortune. God has blessed me immensely. Immensely, God has blessed me beyond anything. In my 30s, at 34, I'd already met the requirements to be a professor. I was finally promoted at 38. And even in my 30s, I traveled to 45 countries of the world. I lived here, lived in the UK, I lived in Ethiopia when I was with the UN. All in my 30s. And after, since in the government, I've gone to another 17, bringing into about 62 countries that I have gone to or lived. And so, Ebeni na na-asọ Igbo. Mana ebe Chukwu melụ na ebe a ka anyị ga-esi bịa. I'm going to spend the rest of my life everywhere I can still breathe and walk and so on to contribute that na way emerieme. And from ife dị iche anyị na ndị a, it's just for us to intentionally decide that we can, and I believe that we can. And when we took on a blood, it was as a sample of our regeneration. Took on a blood, we took on a Obogo. Everybody said Obogo, the IFA was impossible. The blood was impossible. I mean, how can? I mean, the begging here did it. And so when I fly over, I see about say, Agabigo. In fact, to tell you the story, I had a stakeholder engagement. The blood at the town, the headquarters. They never nominated to be the key speaker. So the age go Taiwan, the age go Dubai. The blood here to Dubai went fly over. I say again, man. Well, you just see Taiwan, just see Dubai, but then they blood around about. All that's all yours, no one has you. Say, I'm not no Olo Kaman, I know yours. They don't go against him. He came back, no, I hope now building the other affected. Because maybe don't hear, and we have clear enough to ask, and I won't say that, I won't say number. I have a blood. Until I grew, I went there, Lord, that I did not have been by a bank. Or else because I come at the You know. So if at there, I invite you in 2 months because I am losing a fly over and I need here very I here with the surroundings here that will go from desolation to green. There will be green parts all around that roundabout. From the desolation that it was before, it's going to be something just as a sample of what can be. And we're now intentionally, if you saw some videos, from Amobia down to boundary with Akokwa, Oga, yes, we're dualizing that. From Wago Agolo down to Nobi, down to Newi, down to Ozobolo, to Okija, to meet Owerri Onitsha Expressway. That's also been dualized. And now we are going to start off the one also from Ekulobia to Nobi. That roundabout, the conundrum of the Nobi or for Nobi, that we're going to solve that. But people not at Christmas is going to be different. It's going to be a different place. We just have to 3-3. I see from Tazan, New Tazan. We're going to 3-3. That will be a major bypass, about 10 kilometers or so. That is being done massively now. But we are going to be dualizing from 3-3 heading to Otuacha to be able to decongest that place and so on. We are gazetting all the trunk areas, both federal and state roads, for dualization. Okay, personally, let the other people continue. Because we must build a society for the next generations. For the next generations. For the next generations. I must see ever. I must see ever. We must be deliberate. And this is where I call on all of you. When we, in the process of doing this, the principle that drives us, what we call one state, one people, one agenda. In my head, in my own thinking, I don't see Anambra North or South or Central. What I see is one little state. That's what I see. I grew up as a child in the East Central State. One state. Nyaka split is into 5. Even the old Anambra, this current Anambra was called Anambra South. Made up of Oka and Onitsha senatorial zones. all of a sudden I am not there. Ekewagozi Central, Kayaba, Onyem Obosi Central, Yana Onyem Apollo, Bosi Wane, then Onyobu, Yana Fanagolo, Yana Diagolo, Nagolo, Gaba, or South, Yana Abram, and now Yana Onyem Obosi, Wane. Onyo Obosi no Onyo Onitsha, I was it. Onye Kabu not. Onye Kabu. I mean. And that's why when I was sworn in, this is my one state, one people, one agenda. I was sworn in and I promised and after swearing in that the first place I would go to was Oboko. And the next day after swearing in, I spent 8 hours and 45 minutes in office after swearing in. The next day, I started off at Oboko.
I saw you there.
Thank you. I was there and we began. Sons of sewage and West Ifa Naiba. Ali Golun, na some of that one even to describe that. But today, that Oboko, forgotten. See, this principle can never know in most desperate need. Where is the most desperate need? Not the usual political patronage of Ndebai, Ndinkeba, Ndinka. I know a classmate of mine who called me after the visit to Oboko. Once on my initials, the guy in undergraduate days, I was active in politics as well. Called me, CC. I said, this Oboko thing, are you serious? He said, I said, but this Oboko thing are not. He said, yes. I said, man, in the north of Chesia, where had the eye over? He said, they broke or not. He said, no, there, of the state of those people, where you will not be able to sleep. Who get a gen and not convince him, who get a push us and well, sees your mobile card. Now I'm on your south. I had here, General, and not 3 million. Now, and as you know, where Malam, where Poba, not 3 no. I'm sure on the south time, particularly in the Aguataban, at some point they were getting a bit nervous. But I said, if I no girl with as if no never as we down but I do about a few days now. Professor Kabia, so you go back or not. The show never I even Zumana Cabo. But when you saw here that this administration in 3 years plus we have built 5 brand new general hospitals, and all the 5 general hospitals are in the north central zone, none in the central, none in south. It's deliberate. It's because of need. That's the place where you'll find poor local governments. That's where you go again. Yeah, then I'm back to that. Oh, if I tell you that, I'll be a number. No, not come here. So, that's places where you get to like go Boko. The whole of Boko would almost have 1 million people, not a single public hospital there. The whole of Onitsha South, about Fege or Dapo, even in our population, even not a single public hospital there. You go to Ayamelum, they had one that was burnt down. The whole of Anambra West, local government, none. Then there is a part of Aguleri. If you go to Aguleri to Mpunando, you would drive an hour plus Nubo to get to their place. Totally inaccessible. You can't drive there. Let not even to talk about this kind of season. And the day I went there, that was the first place I cried publicly as governor. Because the state, if I drive wherever, then one of them, when he was speaking, he was so emotional. He looked at me and said, I know one no jail for 8 years, but I am not real wine. If I also come and rescue us. And as he was saying it, he broke into tears and with his knees. Myself, I was joking, just quite inside the back. I can't stand seeing people in some states, and it haunts me. So tears just rolled. We stood up to go and help him get up. And I told the people that we'll do our best. I know how difficult it is to build a road in that part of it because it's swampy. But what kept going on in my mind as I was leaving that community was, if we would take line to drive to the place, what if somebody got ill by 1 a.m.? Somebody in emergency by 1 a.m. How? Before low touch hands. How? That's what kept haunting me. And I prioritized that we're going to fix the schools there and build a general hospital, and the new general hospital is standing there now. We're going to be commissioning it very soon. And we have also started building the road from that community, getting on almost 9 kilometers of road, and they're making appreciable progress as it went. That's what we must be about. Anambra West, the only local government headquarters that I knew that you could not drive to. And today, we have a road. You drive not only to the town of Unzam, but we also had a second project that now takes you from Unzam to the local government headquarters. We are going to be having the triumphant drive. And so on. So for me, that's the priority. That's the priorities thing. Trying to connect, the system is as strong as the weakest link. Those places that have been abandoned or ignored since Adam and Eve, when they are about family, we had to do 27 kilometers from Amansi to Above family. And those people have never seen. I understand the oldest man, Above family, came out when maybe took Otaka. Maybe Tiaka, when I'm on a go for when I'm the age mate, yet never got. They are not as a cowal of it to go We are very deliberate about that, connecting all the places that have not seen. And it's easy, because I tell you, this governance thing, if you are not careful, it's easy for you to be cocooned in the capital, surrounded by all manner of people, and you know, the excellency. It's very easy for you not to have the presence of mind to recognize the places that within your state that you cannot get to. I had to go to Olumbanasa. And I'm really about where there about an hour, 10 minutes. Everybody told me how risky it was. So by then I'm part of Anambra. I said, I'm not here. My security team, everybody was nervous until we came back. I didn't know how nervous everybody was until we came back safe. Thank God. Well, I said, Moab, I was having a jolly ride. And that's what I said, no problem, maybe it's what you repair. And when they face Robia with the trick to discourage that trick, and after that, I said, no, walk, I don't maybe, so go, maybe don't catch, but to repair. 1 month, I'm Bani, I'm Johnny, the man, if I, Onyama Banyano walk, Obu, I'm Johnny, what I do. And we had to go there. Back and go. There is no vehicle, no car can get in there. I buy Banya Keke, I sheep, I Banya Keke. I get the honor from Nakeke. I walk in the potassium, I fell Okada. Okada fell Okada, I was a driver. I will look at it, well, even my Okada. I'm going to put you all up and get up on the phone. We got to. And we are intentionally touching that community now. This is what drives us because this Anambra I4. I'm trying to make something about it. But finally, I can go on and on and on and on. But let me, I've talked about the human capital component, what we're doing in health and education, or youth empowerment and development and technology, and so on and so forth, infrastructure, in terms of delivery, the quality and the road network that Anambra hasn't seen before, and so on. And we're doing more with less. It was said there that what we have spent in 3 years and 3 months, if you convert it by the official exchange rate by the respective years and so on, is still 65% of what was spent in 1 year previously. But in terms of the outcomes, well, I leave it to the people to judge. But for us, it's doing more with less. I told them the Anambra, any penny, I will tell you, I will show you where it is. Because I am not there for anything else. The purpose is clear. Everything in life, what you achieve in life depends on the purpose. For me, the purpose is one. And that is that you made a mistake in the Monya Anambra. Yes. And I don't know how many, only God knows how much more is left. But in so far as I breathe, anything, any opportunity that I have to leave that place different, we're not going to, we'll put in everything. Very, very passionate. I work literally 24/7. This is my first trip to the US since I became governor. This is my first trip. This is my first trip. My question is, what for? How does it touch? How does it translate to fixing one primary health care somewhere? But let me tell you one thing, Divine, and this is where you are coming. Schools, by the way, in terms of schools, when we started prioritizing public education, we realized that 76 communities in Anambra were a government primary school. They have never had. All the mission schools. And now when we started free from kindergarten through primary, through secondary education in all government schools in Anambra, when we started that, we then saw the gap. That now many 76 communities don't have a single government primary schools. We're now, in fact, shortly, my last executive council meeting, the prototype design that we have and what it is going to cost. When I get back now, we're going to start constructing in at least 20 of the 76 communities. We're going to start that construction. We must begin the journey. In each community, the people must have choice. Okay, government. About nature of the government. The mission. Okay, the churches. Or you go to the private, so you have what? Options. Isn't it? That's what you have everywhere else in the world. And we must give people choice. That's what we're deliberately doing that. But I almost see even on health, we have this free antenatal, free delivery, including free cesarean operation for pregnant women. The data you saw there was 1 or 2,000. The last we got is over 110,000 women that have benefited with zero mortality rate ever. And Anambra has been rated to be the #1. We won the award as #1, and that came with a cash prize. The #1 in Southeast, we won $500,000. The #1 in the whole country, we won $700,000 as cash prize in terms of what we're doing with regards to primary health care in the communities. Mana can you guys hear them? Plus flyovers and skyscrapers and all of those front city. Get don't dig here. On there's one and doggy. What? Nowhere. Come on. And this is very serious because there is a clash of values, clash of cultures, clash of values, and you cannot go anywhere before the society are being like that. This is the society where you are, where there's a little book. I read it in the 90s, and the title is "There Aren't Any Such Thing as a Free Lunch." The whole foundation of the society of Borno is built on that. There aren't any such thing as a free lunch. You pay. And everybody works for every penny, isn't it? Yes. But a society that built on freebie, something for nothing, is not a society that can sustainably prosper. You see a new wave, culture Ndi Igbo, that propelled us, is built on the foundation of hard work, enterprise, and integrity. Even our this apprenticeship system, Eba Boy, without the 5-letter word trust, integrity, it cannot stand. And it is that Eba Boy that you will raise. People raise capital and became billionaires and billionaires later. Isn't it? That system is threatened. They are not rather about the boy. They buy the businessmen by what was on the buy boy. And yet it could be Umaka buy now, actually. They put on there, Obin now, Honorable Obin Nachidako, and then be able. I thought I get make it aware road and now. If I never go, Kado. Egombute. If I am an Akaja, they put on man. Tita, fast as a no. That they put it. You don't need to walk. You just walk it and mellow it. The Okachuku, Yamayaka. But I'm weeping a little the Madonna is so sick. What I to go a room on $1. You don't need to walk. That itself is part of the problem. So they send the account, they just a lot. What if everybody sends his account number? We must rescue our society, we must rescue our youth and get them back to the fundamentals of what it takes to succeed in life. There is no substitute to hard work, enterprise, and integrity. We must rescue them back. And you see why it is very dangerous is because there is a nexus between this opposing value and criminality. Because ego mbutezi melo, if ego n'ofo, ụmụaka ga-asịzi gị na ebe a na-akọ ife eje omele okite o wee jee ibu drug. The first option we put drug. Omesiali okite after obo no drugs. No gaffe through the scanning machine. the machine says, boys, your mouth. The machines will not detect the drop. And then what happens? They pass through them and they are being caught all over the world. The prison yards all over the world are filled with our youths. Are filled with our youths. 23 Nigerians were executed in Indonesia recently. One of them from Edo and the other 22 from Anambra. So this thing is very, all they go to Ethiopia, go all over the world. Our youths are languishing in jail because they have been deceived. Pastors have told them, we have prayed for you, you can go. And then they'll keep them. Meanwhile, now, when they try that one, it doesn't work, they go into Yahoo. When we arrested some of these guys, the Okita find one of them carry over 5,000, according to my commissioner. In them, a fossil photo in the Ocha, and you see that they keep them, but you know, all of go on your cha. No, I'm there, Messi on your cha, they will tell you. A pretty photo on your Tinyaba, Okita, Tidagiana, but they will tell you. You know, this I'm telling you, this is very serious. Very serious. Because the youth don't want to work. Now, authorize there Yahoo or Walker. What is the next one? Kidnapping. The same source. The same source of confidence. And what's the other form of work nowadays? Not defensible. Because it's easy. And Nabalo Wagafa Nachibo Manane. But if we win your arrow, someone near Pavelia was there to fear that they'll believe for jail. If I want to, but I am a believe for jail, we must take back our homeland. We must take back our homeland. Uncle Ekes, a story, and I just want this story of his elder brother, Iko told me the story of what happened in Aba or something, a woman whose son was kidnapped. Whose son was arrested by the police. And he went to a lawyer to ask for the lawyer to go and bail the son. And they was asking him, so Kedo, what did he do? So, nobody for me. What if I did that matter? Or remember your battle, Charlie Ego, I was thinking, what for me? Are you seeing that? And the child, as far as she was concerned, the son has done nothing wrong. It's just when you catch somebody, you have not killed the person, you have not spilled blood, so, and then they give you money. So, what is it? No problem, go and bury my son. The time when we no longer ask people, what do you do for a living? That's when the society died. When we no longer ask people, what do you do for a living? That's when the society died. Just bring money. Whatever it is, bring what? Money. That's not a society that will survive. So, when we enacted this Homeland Security Law, January this year, yeah, please, and you just, my bad, I got to finish. When we passed this law, for this law, anybody can actually be questioned to explain the source of livelihood in Anambra today. I can get you. We have outlawed Okite. And I'm convinced if I want to say, I need a Okite for people to get money. Come, I want us to line up. Even me, I need you. I need money too. All of us will line up. And you make all of us, you make my job easier, isn't it? If we can line up in the Anambra and you make all of us multi-billionaires, then what am I? That's it. Case closed. If If everybody pays just 1% of that, then we can use that revenue to turn Anambra, the Dubai-Taiwan of the future will come immediately. Well, Manonya announcing your game that is going to make you rich still needs your money first. You first of all need your money. One of the ones who were arrested, his son is a waiter in a hotel in nowhere. But he's the one who will make you rich. Like you. The monkey. So this is, I can tell you, it's in a man and then I walk or was your or bully a poor, but I did look publicly. The roads being messed up. On I tried them. Knows all enough. We've told them not anymore in Anambra. If you say that only na 4 corner road, that's where you are going to keep your thing. Stay in your compound. Okay? When you go to one corner of your compound, you move A, you cross it B, it's now 4. Put it there. 4 corners. Okay. Isi dị na-eme eze nwanyị, kịta ụmụ nwanyị, onye zụọ afịa ma onye mee biznes ọwụ ọkụrụ, jebido eze nwanyị. Ebe ka a na-end na mmiri. Onye gbokọsịa all manner of stuff. Then you go to a river that belongs to the entire community. And then you pour your thing into it. That thing you poured there is going down. The next, maybe a pole or so, somebody has come to fetch drinking water. And it's going to go home to drink it. You don't know what they have poured in there. No. So if you must, we're not saying, Omenane, you have freedom. Email Omenane. Okay? And you want to do it without water, it will not work. Go and buy a Buddha. Go and buy a drum, buy Buddha, buy a plastic, and keep it in your compound, fill it with water. When you go in front of it, be looking at the water and do your project. But don't go to our common heritage, which is our rivers, and pollute them. Don't go there. We must begin consciously to build a society with some modicum of decency. Some modicum of decency. If I tell school for, I call them mother now, you wouldn't walk, you wouldn't do anything. No, yeah, but you must bring your money. No, now. And they put those on Elon Musk, and those on to the moon. They are not there, doesn't go with their holiday at the moon. The buy their go Nyaga, a mellow kid, and Onyaga, mellow Ezemai, and so on and so forth. Bikono. As a Vanya, it's now on a war government. I was governor of Central Bank. Please, somebody explain to me what it takes us to print one note. Opening with 1,000 naira. What put there about? They have one thing like a rectangle that is a golden color. Okay? We call it kilogram. That thing is very expensive to produce in Germany to put on that currency in order to secure it. It's a security feature. You can't fake it. So, can do the science, can do how? And part of the criminality is that it's leading to Umuhaka, little children are missing. Particularly little girls. Because they will tell them this one can only work if you bring a virgin. And they steal these little kids and pound them. So when you see us on this crusade, it's something I feel like, when I hear somebody get it, it feels just like going to grab the person and deal with the person mercilessly. Because this triangle, this axis of evil, there's no society that can survive with it. There's no society that can survive with it. So we are on a crusade, we are on a mission to begin to rescue and begin to build. We're carrying this crusade. Our next level is to take it through schools, through primary, secondary, and everywhere. And I'm glad also the churches, some priests are coming on board. Some of them have said to me that it's actually a crusade that they ought to be carrying, that we have started. You can't build, when you finish all these artifacts, without the quality human beings inhabiting them. It's just nonsense. It's like somebody has said, if you were to take everybody in New York and ship them to Nigeria, and ship Nigerians to New York, give it 20 years, Nigeria will look like New York, and New York
will look like Nigeria.
Somebody said it sounded like a joke. But the buyer and Madison's that's how we killed Main Market. Main Market is dead. You know that. Main Market is dead. The largest market in West Africa. They killed it. So part of what? Yes. Here, you are here. You will see that every shopping mall, every shopping area, you will see that the parking area is as big, if not bigger, than the shopping area. Is it? Yes. Because if you can't park, you can't shop. The white people who designed Main Market provided enough parking. ECOG every Christmas. And before you're not out to ever shop. There's no parking. So, people used to come from all over West Africa to come and shop now. Where will they park? They will go and park at Opi Weka. Now, even the tarred roads, they will go with an umbrella like that. I would have thought about, left to me, if I get a bulldozer and give up, and start afresh. But you're going to displace no less than 50,000 persons. We've thought and planned, tried, we've designed it. But we've tried and tried. I think what we're going to do, we have now acquired about 5,000 hectares. That will be the next audition. And that's the next. It's, the second Niger Bridge. The other side of it heading Oba. And if I were to or there and all that, that's where we have the next Onisha 2.0, as the case may be. You know?
Is it in Kotaku area?
In Kotaku, well, I know, I've told you in the second Niger Bridge area, whatever, to the left, going to Oba, as if you're heading to well, then from that area, whatever, up to the river, that's the axis where we have this. Okay? Now, Oka 2.0 is the other one, then we have the industrial city. But to conclude, and then I take I can see a hand up here. And the new cities, when people raise, you want investment, you want to invest in Anambra. Yes. Very straight. And we want to avoid the mistakes of the past. That's why since I came, I've not allocated 1 square inch of land. 21. 3 years, 3 months. Because we first of all wanted to secure what we had, and we're digitizing the place, we sanitized the place. Land has been a massive scandal. And people just came on land grabbing. Somebody shows up, oh, I'm coming, I have investment, give me land. How much? I need 2 hectares. 1 year, 2 hectares. Anambra land is platinum gold. Yes. The 1 year 2 hectares, okay, qualify fence. I'm not gonna move the governor. How many more months go for the governor? Another apple, or say another. Because if one material, OGM for about 5 years, you will sell it for more than hundreds of percent increase. Hundreds, if not thousands of percent increase. So, and you see all land in Kumba grabbed all over the place. We've revoked quite a number of them. Now, if you want to invest, we do proper due diligence. Show me the money. We will give you, if you say you want this land, we'll give it to you. We'll see the business plan. Okay? With the business plan, then you start. We'll give you what we call irrevocable, not CFO, irrevocable letter of comfort. Okay? Irrevocable letter of comfort. Where we certify that we will issue you with CFO if you develop it to a certain milestone within a given time. No, even them. Yes, I'm working. What you man, GDN. What a time frame would you wish to develop? What are no feasibility, nothing, no business plan. Just one man and one investor and one partner. I get what $10 billion. I want to think what they go for hours I do with that. You know, in my previous life, I was chief economic advisor to the president. I've seen hundreds of investors, so-called investors. It may say you won't have more than up to 5 of them at the federal level. But at the state level, now on their side, MOU, show me the money. If you are ready, but if you are ready, serious investor, serious about making investment, come down. We've now, what we didn't have before was intentionally acquiring land because people are building haphazardly everywhere. So we've intentionally now secured about 5,000 hectares that will be a new industrial city, a trailer industry there. Because the plan, because I am more. I want you to more than their supervision. More against their supervision. In our way, I'm on the street. And they're all well or general in no, I'm not by a land. They said, in a bit of their key off. I drawing it to on my 2 months. Get a milestone to be achieved. The one was there, I don't know, say, no, I get a foundation. Yes, yes, good. We'll get my paper next month. So, because we have to preserve our common, heritage and use them judiciously to develop Anambra. So, you are welcome. On PPCP, Ikemba Nobi, I've gone to commission some projects, including road for Bieba, Ifina, Nagalomande, Komuai, and so on and so forth. The Seeker. And we're also saying that to a whole lot of people, others. I've gone to several communities to commission roads. Some guy in Adaziane, his target was to exceed the record of Tony Mans, who did 18 kilometers before he died. Chico with the new one, who had done 16 point something kilometers. His target is to do 30. I've gone to several communities and they made 2 kilometers, and then I started 2 years ago, commissioned 11 kilometers. I was at Ojoto. The other day I was at Ozobolo. I'll just keep going, various communities commissioning. When I made 2 kilometers, PPCP. The primary school nearest to your house in the village. Take a look. Some of them are in most despicable condition. Something. You'll be amazed what $10, what difference that can make. I'm talking about $100 or more. Collect call to action. Makana Anambra, we're an A state. We can be anything that we want it to become. If we put our mind to it. Because in the end, on the last day, each of us, one of the questions I believe God will ask each of us is that I deliberately made you Onya Anambra. I didn't, if I wanted you Onya America, I'm going to give you Black American. But I created you Onya Anambra. How did you live that? If you have a teleba, maybe I don't want to. Oh, yeah. If I have a teleba, I'm just saying, I'm right economic refugee where you went at. Yes. So now, where you went, what do you want to go? But if I never have trauma, which is good. Are you getting me? But now I talk as obviously them again. Obviously them can I possibly even in a never for most of it who are another again. So, Kedunki Wenata, Kedunki, was there Chukujoria? How did you live that Anambra better than you met it? Muma, now, if I now prepare my own report card, I don't know about you. Thank you very much. Let me take the questions. I think I saw the lady there raising their hand. Let me just take care. I will be noting them very quickly so we take and then so we can go very quickly. Okay. The lady, because I think to many, because I see many hands up. When you raise it, just go straight, ask a question, and I will just I will write a number of them down. Then I will pick. Yes.
Good evening, His Excellency, my governor. Yes. My name is Dr. Josephine Akwa. You have one of my family members, Omekania, in your team. Yeah, you know Omekania.
He's a member of the House of Assembly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is this. Before I ask the question, I want to make a contribution regarding what you enumerated regarding our youth, the behavior of our youth. So, if I can remember far back, most of our youth members and our community members were staunch Christians. They believe in Christ, they pray fervently, but within the past few years, yes, I want to make this one before I ask my question. Yes, please.
No. Let me just take that contribution.
Yeah.
Just make it, go straight to it.
The contribution is this. Some of our youths, their stores were demolished in Lagos and some other places, and they all came back home, and nobody spoke about it. When I read and I see comments of other people, I've never seen an Igbo leader defend our youth. If we don't defend our youth, who will defend them? If we don't provide jobs for our youth, who will defend them? Our youth are doing what they are doing because of hopelessness. They've been praying and they feared that their prayers were not answered. And what else can they do? In the past, when I was in high school, we used to have defenders in the name of Chubo Kadibo, Mbakwe of Imo State, Ojukwu, and so on. Whenever things happen, these people, once they spoke, everybody stay quiet and you keep working hard. You know that your godfathers and your leaders have spoken. But lately, nobody defend our youth. So what will they do? People that feared their prayers were not answered. So now, when you enumerated these things, you didn't mention what happened to the Fulani headsmen. Right in front of my house in the village, somebody was kidnapped at Tapa 2 months ago. And there were Fulani headsmen that live around Ukuru Junction, Ugbo Junction, and Aba Junction. So, We don't know what's going to happen. Our youths are hopeless. So we can start by encouraging them, maybe giving them small loan and speaking up. Speak up, defend our people. This issue of talking about more milli and so on and so forth, I think it's not what we are known for. We are never known for things like that. It's a state of hopelessness, and that must be addressed for things to really be better in our society. Yes. Another question is this. No, not a question. No, not a question. Not a question. Here is comment. Yeah, the economy of Anambra State. You mentioned that economy, applaud you for what you have done so far. During the first quarter last year, I was one of the people that was not supporting you. But later, I discovered what you have done. I discovered your accomplishment. I sent people to travel around all the road, everywhere, and they confirmed to me that you've actually achieved those things. Thank you for that. So this, my contribution. The economy of Anambra State can actually be built around tourism, manufacturing, and commerce. The reason I say this is because a country like Singapore...
Excuse me, you are just repeating my manifesto, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much, madam.
Can I just, yes, please. If we just turn it to half, because I'm looking at the time that you have, and there are many hands, and I want to attend to everybody.
Yes, our great governor, you're highly welcome. My question for you is, you said you were going to turn Anambra into Dubai, and we didn't know you were going to do it that fast, because the cost of land now is very expensive in our state. So thank you very much for that. For Afonobi, it's been serious problem now for some time in Nobi. A lot of Nubians are worried about the infrastructure that is coming, because as I know, after speaking to the chief of staff, I noticed that it's going to be massive. So what are we doing to accommodate people that own shops, ancestral land, people that have buried their great-grandfathers there, and people that are going to lose out from their business there? What is the plan for the people there? And can we also be assured that Afonobi, the name Afonobi, will still be recognized no matter what is built there, because that place is a place where our great-grandfathers have always respected. So what is the plan for the people that are going to lose it, and the plan as a whole for Nubia? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Gentlemen, please, Ndanambara, Bikon. Unu Gechetana, Governor Anyi, we're professors. Okay? On the men here in an organized manner. All that they organized, everybody will be heard. Because only on our way to Akia, we will come to everybody, but please, let's be organized. Please. When you make a comment, ask your question, the governor will address it. 1 second, I'll take the mic. Question.
My Excellency, let me start on a simple protocol. If you don't know America, I'm a local like you, live in Nigeria. It's in Nigeria, we are saying that as an in the fact you have to go, I'm commending for giving my generation opportunity. The person who Oka Fund City, my friend, a young man, who may go from to grade the younger generation opportunity. Engineer Chuki is my personal friend. My Excellency, sir, I want you to highlight these things. Achom Anambra create here enlightenment centers where people will learn no key down business. Izuori in our job, even price to pay. Enlightenment centers. 2, security. Achom can infiltrate securities. People that are retirees in police, in army, let them work with our securities. And bring a equal informant within those security personnel. Those people can get that information because I don't entangled with what is happening in my mind. Because the third one, they get great mother and child hospital in all the zones in Anambra. They reduce the child mortality rate. Thank you.
Mr. Adenoba, representing the House. Please, question, no comment.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was sent here by Ihala National. His Excellency, I'm sorry to say this. I saw that comment there and your speech. I did not hear anything about Ihala. It's very, 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 very sad. I went to Ihala. I was almost kidnapped. A priest was killed there. They tell me, don't come. Ihala is very, very bad. We have little or no presence of government in Ihala. It's very, very sad. I'm not happy. I'm very, very disappointed. And I hope that you will do something in Ihala. Thank you. I was given this specifically to give to you. We are very, very disappointed.
Your Excellency, welcome. Afambo Fred Afoka. I'm the President of Ndo, North America. I'm grateful for your presence in Ndo in January 5th to commission some of the projects there. So my people are very happy and impressed with your effort there. One of the things I actually know and with some youth centers that the government built in Ndo, and it's been abandoned. So the PG of my community wants me to see if you guys can facilitate that vocational center to be used for the youths in my hometown. Thank you very much.
If you cannot ask direct question, we will not touch many people. We've done this in the United Kingdom. The best way to touch a lot of people is to ask direct questions. Thank you.
Now, I've got a question. Onye governor Mary can say thank you. I'm going to blog. I will chief return ever. Because chief return. Because I am going to do now. And then they blog. They have chief return say blog. Oh, it's a different blog. Oh, it's a different blog. As part of testimony, I call intentional conversation. I want to say, thank you. Keep it in Banadao, Obidan, open I why?
Because question challenge because even in Anambra, the whole Nigeria, wherever we emergency room, equal hospitals. Yes, I almost say emergency room. When you have 1,000, now wherever you go, who know can they put you in emergency? I got on emergency room because all the nurses of Banka forget. One. Also, oh, when the buyer was emergency room doctors never where did everywhere is thank you.
Women. Okay,
A woman.
Good evening, Governor. My name is Lulu Agba. I'm a Sierra Leonean married to my wonderful husband here from Anambra, Dr. Godia Agba. I want to thank you for everything that you've done and continue to do. It's just an observation for everybody to be able to speak. It seems like you have 16 minutes. So if you can give people 1 minute with their questions, I think that will help. It's just an observation. Thank you.
Excuse me, please, if you're on any table, appoint one person and write your questions. So that when I come to that table, the person will ask all the questions for that table and I'll move to the next table.
Thank you so much. Able Governor, my cap is there in honor of you and everyone here. My name is Regeneration. I'm from Ubo. And thank you. You came to audition Simcoe's Road. A very honorable work he did. Now, for the people, when we heard that you will be coming to DC, I asked for the people that I'm in America. And they said yes. I said, America here, we don't take, but we give. They say yes. He said, if you are able to honor me with that portion of land, that 30 acres of land, can we give it to governor to do whatever he wants to do with it? They say yes, send me the documents. I have documents here. So we are going to Umpore people in Umudikobo. Is giving you 30 acres of land for you because of what you are doing. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name.
Hello, please. This is one of the young people that we have here. Can we please listen to her?
Thank you, everyone, for your audience, and thank you, Governor. I'm here really on behalf of my mom. So my question is, as I heard you mentioning about infrastructure development and things of that sort, and we're not necessarily here to stay forever, but to also go back home and pour into our place. Now, I'm not very familiar with Anambra State, but my mom is from Anambra State, Nnewi to be precise. And though I grew up here, I've heard a lot about our state and our people. Now, I wanted to ask about the opportunity for improvement of security, so that people like me could come back, right, and feel safe and not be scared of kidnapping. And most importantly, for people like my mom's brother, who was a king, Francis Okeke in Agubonde, which was kidnapped, and there's nothing that's been done for over a year. Thank you.
Thank you. I want from here. I got a appointment.
My name is Excellency, our predecessors. I am more of active functional fire service department. Any Kina Bahana, past governors, I know, Kubaya, Boya, Blair, or Maria. And in a solution, I have been now. I never connected now. When they apply, they'll lie in car.
His Excellency, my name is Akamo. I represent the Dubu Kofia Royal Palace. I'm from Ugo, precisely. And Akuma. My question precisely is this. For the continuity of the great work you are doing, how do we protect the votes in the next upcoming election? Very, very important. Academic everybody.
Because we need one by one after the other. Because we have one of our growing, because the Excellency, because we need attention here, Excellency. We have one of our future youth that have a good question for you.
Good evening. How do you make Anambra safe for kids and families? And I want to visit Anambra soon. Promise that I'll see you.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Anambra. When you come, I'd like to see you. Thank you. We go to the farm city, the family farmhouse and so on, okay? Thank you.
His Excellency,
Question.
My question is this. I built a road that's almost more than 2.2 kilometers. And I was able to consult Commissioner for Works, a deputy local government not, even your deputy governor, to see if they can help us tar the road. I did gutter, deep gutter, around St. Philip Anglican Church in Modini. So I want you to help us, because if we don't tar the road now.
You said you did it.
No, I didn't tar, but I did the road, but it didn't help.
How did you do it?
It was a very bad road. Children, usually, when I was moving them forever. So there's a drainage.
Okay, made it drainage.
Now the culvert. And even the St. Philip, in front of the St. Philip, I did a very good roundabout. The work is still going on. I need your help, Governor. Not waiting anything now. Another thing to provide you, as of last year, I was trying to get in contact with you, because I have few nurses that we are teamed together to see if you can give us allocation to have a dialysis center in Anambra State. I couldn't get in touch with you. So please, let's see what we can do.
Okay, Obosi, representative of Obosi.
Okay, madam. Please, your name is very important so that we are tracking what you're saying.
Your Excellency, Afam Musa Bishop Mokanya. I'm the president of Obosi National Association, USA. By profession, I'm a U.S. Army senior officer, getting ready to retire. So, on behalf of Obosi people at home and diaspora, we thank you for the opportunity to engage with us here today. We come before you with a painful heart today because of what happened on July 1st, 2025, when the SASA people came and destroyed our town hall, security vehicles, and on that, Ujiawa calculated the 1 year without provocation. We know that you stand by civility. You are a professional. I watched the tape. I was disgusted with what I saw in the tapes. It was so unprofessional. So we came here today because we know you are a professional. You will take care of it. We come to ask for you to look into the activities of SASA in Anambra State. Even the DPO of Obosi was present trying to stop them. They did not stop them. They destroyed the security vehicles, even the walls we donated for the Agone Chamber, Obosi chapter. They destroyed people's vehicles. That day, we are doing the training of one family, two skills. Reverend Father in Obosi Town Hall. Reverend Father was teaching that class. They have to run for undercover. So with that we come, sir, because the town hall is not just a town hall for us. We have our heroes buried there. That place was vandalized. So thank you, sir. May I approach? Thank you.
Ojoto. Kedonyo Ojoto.
Afam the US of Q. And then I'm Moyo. One of the people or you were high regard for, late Dr. Pius of Q. Okay? Osi Ojo. Are you familiar with that? The last time you were at Ojo, our PG, Dr. Ernest Obunadike, present because Uzoni Nine Alun Ojo na go self-help. But on a particular road which you promised to handle. Nyawaka Nde quite the opportunity. Apart from it, if any need because each other one who's a promise in your hand for no joke. Now, on where we them go here, okay, Ojo to 100% kind of year after. Ezieke Ojo Road. Ezieke Ojo Road. Okay, Lika to Nnewi. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Governor, thank you. I'll be quick. What I want to ask Bomac, the security outfits in Anambra State, Udogachi. There have been numerous reports of human rights violations, extortions, and even accused extrajudicial killing. We know you are somebody who knows how to do things, somebody who has to do things in modern ways. So I'm asking, what kind of training were they given? What are the rules of engagement? And are there channels to punish members of those outfits when they begin to behave even worse than Nigerian police? And also, is there a crisis number that people can call to report crime or to report excesses of the Udogachi outfits? Thank you.
His Excellency, your name? I will Captain Tony Mabunia, retired Nigerian Army. I was on Nibo. His Excellency, in a contract to Eziban, Yokuya. Mana in the Guayane, and we have been crying and crying. That contract, 8 years ago, so what one year, yet, another over one call, John's picture, SAE. People actually give a that on Obama, see who project, wherefore, is shadow. You know, blind and people, they you go where, then you go.
Professor, you are welcome. Thank you, Governor. I'm from Chief Aiko Kwesi. I'm from Monya Dazindo. I see from Baltimore, Anambra Association Baltimore. My question is this. When Ghana bought Apollo Akodo Soludo, after that thing first, na Facebook, na social media, it be fighting. But I didn't believe it. But I go home, and I'm about 3 months in Nigeria, and Anambra, and my founder, and I'm so what happened that now for over face to face, monitor. But another woman, Nana, Nakujusia, Oku. I said, and that will local Abolo, and that will Akodo. And it was barbaric. So my question is this. Is your administration aware of this? If they are, what are they doing to stop this barbaric behavior? Thank you.
Problem and they not solve here. And I not sorry, because from which you make a careful. Also, what I'm running here, Opolo ne maha problem Anambra State. Are you changing the neighbor? What are you here? Upload and they not solve that problem. They are solving it. Because question more. Ihe money na ime because anyway but it or yeah, in a hasia because he make in position here, he a continuation, which is very important. Because my question. Thank you.
Because Governor Soludo, Afam Bulalo, Uche Ezechuku. Nizitelombo, Women for Soludo, na USA. Mo abu onye no ga na anu na China. Unu wa kada ko China. Ebe anu. So Governor ya ekene go di mejo na China. Ina abia ku ifu anyi na August. Anyị na-ekene gị. Ajụjụ wee bụrụ ihe gbasara ụmụ nwanyị. Ama m na inyelu ụmụ nwanyị free prenatal delivery and postnatal. Ihe m na-ayọzi gị bụ ụmụ nwaanyị awa na-abịa ịmụ nwa mụa bụ nurse. Ana m ajụ sị ha bịa ịmụ nwa ka etinye nkụzi ihe ha ga na-eri. Ama m na ọ dị mma ka ha na-enwe free prenatal dịka ha dị ime adịrị akụziri ihe, mana ka anyị na-akụziri ha kedu ihe anwa ha ga na-eri ka ha nwa na ụmụ ha ka arụ dị ha, and ha mụchakwuo nwa, maka na ụmụ nwaanyị anyị ga-abụ ha mụcha nwa ha na-enwewe ọya na-egbu ụmụ nwaanyị anyị nnukwu. So ha mụcha nwa ka akụwalụ ha nekwa ka ha ga-esi ledo ụmụaka ahụ anya. Ihe nke ọzọ m chọziri eji wee bụrụ dịka ụmụaka anyị na ụmụ nwaanyị anyị, enwere ụmụaka anyị dịka ụmụ nwaanyị na ụmụaka nọ na nsogbu na denja. Kedu ihe ha ga-eme? Onwe ihe na-eme ha, kedu onye ha ga-akpọ? Kedu crisis line ụmụ nwaanyị anyị, especially ụmụaka anyị na ụmụ nwaanyị anyị, kedu crisis line ha ga-akpọ? Governor Solution, ekene. Thank you, Governor. Thank you for the good job you're doing in Anambra State. I also felt it in front of my town, Nankai. And thank you, Ernest, for coming in to represent the governor for the community event we did in January. You mentioned the governor program of PPCP. Yes, I'm into healthcare and I'm a pharmacist by profession. Actually, I'm Dr. Charity Okeke. I want to partner with the government and I want to invest in Anambra. So how do I start? Who do I start talking to? Thank you.
My able governor, my name is Chief Sajoez, a retired Maryland medical contract chief financial officer. I'm a Nikeni. I am to go those years. I'm not to know. Now, American University, long time ago. Welcome. Question because under your PPCP, the way you know cooker accommodate for a cooker on VIP road. Now, one no more a council, chicken and endo. A cooker on VIP road and kept pulls up here. But the guy Japan, erosion and tribulai never. I know under my leadership, I will community health center, who can know US. So because there I am, thank you.
Because I have to recognize one of our elder statesmen, Honorable Ejike Mwambwe Jali.
The issue of our governor, here. When I say you've done tremendous job, and I'm very proud of you. Essence of investment from diaspora has to be security, which you have done. You have done wonderfully well in security in the north and central of Anambra State. You have also done a lot in the south senatorial zone, but that place is horrendously terrible. You need to do more in that south senatorial zone so that investment also from us will come. We love you. You are doing a good job. And because everybody move our arsenal of investment to Anambra State. And since Nyawan was there, our problem. So, but all security is the most important. Without security, and you've done well, but you have to do like that. The section need to check it, or if possible, put a roadblock and a serious and checkpoint there. There will.
I'll come to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Governor. You know, your video was very impressive, very impressive. Some of us have a case in here. So I'd be very happy that we are here. They make all this sense. Then the PPCP, it's very difficult if they do that to you directly. Or if possible, he appoint one of your people as a contact person, or any person who has such problem or project, or get the contact so that it will be easier for communication. And again, that same person might be the person who will be solving all the problems from diaspora. Somebody in contact with diaspora for problems in the world from us. Because now, to come back home and want to see the governor is almost sometimes more impossible.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Your name? Question, please.
My name is Chimarius Chubura Odumimo. Your Excellency, thank you very much, Governor Michael. You've done very well, excellently well. Personally, I'm a retired head of an agency here, director of UI, Tax Contribution Division. My question to you, yes, sir. I'm the CPA. So, Marius Chibura from Limo. So, my question is this, Your Excellency. You've done very well in security in Anambra State. But what's lacking now is intelligence, follow-up. When things happen in Anambra State, that's the end of it if they are not caught. How about follow-up? And that's what saves this country. We all want to come home, especially now we retire. We want to come and support. What can we do? We have a lot to offer. But the security is a deterrent. So, people get, like in my hometown, one of the prominent guys, a colleague in the cabinet, was kidnapped in June. I don't know if that has come to your attention. Chief Augustine Ezekinachi. And up till now, he has not been caught because they weren't caught red-handed there. So, follow-up investigation after incidents. If there's any way we can improve our CID growing up, I know CID, Criminal Investigation Division, was very effective. I don't know how far they are doing it now. That's the most serious factor in security. Thank you, Excellency. God bless you, and we will support you. We'll do another 4 years.
Your Excellency, always with Daru, Afambo Victor, Ifeanyi Wike, Abumoni Okulobia. My specialty is technology, all around. And all security and strategy can go there, and very short. So, I suggest state government partner with the town union, like all the 21 local governments, and with partnership, where a local security base in each of the 21 local governments, and the amount of CCTV camera that local security can be reporting to the state government what is going on, and things from there, they will be able to report like security breaches that is happening in the local area. So, but the state government will be in charge, and they will train the personnel that will be in the control room of that local, security base. Thank you.
Question. Good evening, everybody. Your Excellency, I greet you. Afambo Obi Clara Ada Igbo. Abumoye Enugu State. I don't know mana Enugu State is in Anambra State. Ụfọdụ nwere ike say, hey, onye abụrụ onye Anambra. Why God is you bịa ịjụ ajụjụ ma ọ comment. But one thing I'm chasing bụ daalụ maka na ọ dị reason. On easy lies the head that wears the crown. Jisi Kenny here now, because now each time to Nigeria, I do go to from Enugu State. And the last time we went all through to some areas in Anambra State, and we noticed that they have good roads So I said, thank you and keep up the good work. My question is, how do you empower our youths? Like when they come out from school, in order for them not to do agboro, how do you and your, government empower our youths in Anambra State? Thank you.
Good evening. From Prof. Governor Oluwukebo. We are not here to ask questions. Other place, I'm here to talk about the Anambra Patriots. Architect Uke sent me and the chairman. For those people who don't know about the Anambra Patriots, that the support group that paid the 30 million for Soludo to rerun the second term. So, as a Bokandian, you are to allow us to US chapter. Although they want you to go ahead and continue because we need to go for that. And do that part can be big I will come present it to you now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. All Patriots, American chapter, USA chapter. So as it thank you so much.
I think is there any question that is not similar or the same as what we have asked already? Any? Yes. Listen, I've also shared small piece of paper. Everybody must not ask questions. So write your question, pass it to me, then we take it up.
We are going to take 5 more questions, and I'll go to a lady first.
So actually, my question is really straightforward. So this Agolo Lady Kulobi Road, you have very good connection. So more about Agolo and not Lobi, so it touch all across. But we have a big problem not Lobi. And just like in most things in Nigeria, if we don't look at it on time, it gets worse. Right now, one Agolo also. But there's when they didn't do the channel, which channel they made it. It's causing a big problem. Then we able like 2 erosion already created, and that's for me it's really man-made because the erosion was created because the water was not properly channeled. Apparently, people now know they are going contractors in an umbrella. Nobody has to know what you work for. But just like everything in Nigeria, so we need to bring the attention on time. Because if we don't fix it, it's only going to get worse.
Thank you so much. Okay.
His Excellency, Prof. Soludo, I have been following your antecedents. I thank you for what you've done. But there is one single something I want. My name is Dr. Utobenatis from Oruma side. So many of our people that are in the US hardly come. There is indeed security. What is the guarantee of somebody who is coming to invest? And if he invests, he will not die in that investment. That's my question. Why?
Good evening, Governor Soludo. I'm Patricia Nena Agana, and I've been your fan from the banking industry when you were the CBN governor. I'm from Anambra State. I'm Anambra Enugu. So the last time I'm in Enugu State, I'm one of Onye Mpulo when I finished high school for a long time. So I've been a friend to that family. So the last time in Enugu State, I was to go and visit this family. So my younger brother, Bula, instead of paying by the highway from 90 miles to Anambra, there was this corner way from Esiago that went from Ohia Obara, where by Anambra State, Abaye Bulo, and it's very close. But that road is not really nice. If you can really help to connect that road to Anambra State, how can I do that easy? I am Antenu Anambra, Abu Resibo One, so I saw zona in Kyoga Anambra without going through the highway of 90 miles. Thank you.
Not sure whether you're asking me to tell your governor or what.
Okay. Your Excellency. 3 left. Your Excellency, more from Onitsha North. So my question based on aviation. Like 9 months ago, so he awarded the night flights and the new road commission. So if you're not achieving to improve on the existing infrastructure at the airport, and with your next tenure, what efforts will you be making? At least I went international flights today, Chicago and New Lagos and which I every time.
Your Excellency, because my name is George Okafor from Abatete, this DMV. Because Your Excellency, Soludo solution, and because fighting tornado ever, because Ganunti. Even in the eye for them, Mamma, feet. Man no wrong, man no wrong. Ndị Fulani nọ n'Anambra na-ekidnap ndị mmadụ, na-egbu mmadụ. Kedu solution ya? Kedu ife ị ga-eme to get rid of them?
Your Excellency, my name is from Onitsha North. I commend you for Onitsha Ore Road. Commend you for Bobo, which was your first attempt. That 3-3 area you mentioned about the 3-3. You want to Western question. In the go for 3 years and 3 months. Of course, we are hoping that you will go again, and we have plans, even though that 3-3. Now this year, 10 now before you change over. Thank you very much.
1 second. Yes. Your Excellency, Professor Sisi Soludo. I call him Sisi because that's what we need to call him. Yes. So it's a pleasure to be here today and to be informed about the great things you're doing in Anambra State. By the way, I'm from Enugu State by association, Anambra State. So the question of sustainability is a problem in every levels of governance in Nigeria. You mentioned the question of building to last, and that struck me really good. I'm probably more familiar with you than many people here, because I know you are visionary. And when you go in, you go all in. Is there any way to legally provide legal framework that will make it difficult for incoming administrations to change the good ideas you have? For example, the 50 years plan. This is what is important. Two, going beyond Anambra State as a Enugu State person. You are in the government.
and your colleagues in the Southeast, is there anything you guys are doing to help put the Igbo people at the federal level? A lot of appointments that are made at the federal level, the Igbo people are marginalized. I know it's not easy, but there's some level of collaboration with us together. Thank you.
Your Excellency, I'm onye abatete, I'm onye ọba. Enwere m ofu question. O nwere nwatakịrị ama bido from age of 17, wee maybe before na-eme ndị dị mma na ndị dị ọjọọ. N'olu 26. Bajara nsogbu ọba n'ime iri oge ahụ wee kpochie ya. Since then, ife nchọ njedebe mbụ o nwee ife na-eme amala ife na-eme ihe n'ebe ọ nọ ma ọ bụrụ ịma ya kọmpani na.
Last question.
Because I think we need to go. Thank you very much. I think whatever thing else anybody has, you can write down.
Please, quiet, please. We have a lot of questions to answer. Please.
I think what you do is, because I would like to get all, you see, I have been patiently writing down all the questions, but because I have been notified that we also live here, and I'm sure you ask these questions because you also need responses, isn't it? Otherwise, we can just go on, we'll take all the notes, the time clicks, and then say goodbye. You would like to get the response from me, isn't it? Yeah, so then it means we have to have a few minutes to be able to respond before the time is up. We were told initially we were supposed to close by 7, but I understand graciously extended our time a little bit further. I want to appreciate all of you. I mean, this kind of feedback, you know, that's the kind of thing I love to do and wish we'll have even more time. I would have wished that we'll have another 3 hours or more. And we can now sit here and I will take all your questions. Because the questions and the issues, suggestions that you have made, we can group them into some buckets. But I would also suggest that if you have further suggestions or whatever thing to send, to please put them together. And through the organizers, chairman here, and then they get through to my chief of staff. My office will sit down, put them all together, dimension them. If there are things that need to be handled, we'll get to them. I know some wanted to come and talk about roads in their own village, and so on and so forth. That is part of it. I mean, I hear that every day. And so what I do say to people is, even if you take all the resources of Anambra and go to one local government, you will not finish building their roads in 8 years. You won't, unfortunately. But we've tried to be the way we have done, at least with every sense of modesty. What has happened over the last 3 years plus, we have been very intentional about distributing roads. And I would also be, I think, for those who are out there, Ebubedike, you ask the question and you are disturbing the entire thing now. You won't let us answer. Please, it's not quite decent, I would say. And I will keep saying that because that is always the challenge we have, the buying together. When you speak, you listen to others. When you speak, you listen to others. If you won't listen to others, then you leave the space. It's very important, I think, very, very, very important. Let me just respond to a few things, and I will just run through them. Dr. Aisha, I'm going in reverse order, and I will just say one or two things. You ask very deep questions. the issue of put Igbo's federal appointments. It's a short question to a long one, a long answer. And you come at the heart of the challenge of the Igbos. I can answer you this question in 3 hours or write you a book about that. And that is in the Igbo how politics works. We don't seem to pay attention. We're playing this in our marginalization. If I take politics, it's like here where you are. The Republicans have gained power, isn't it? Good. If I say the Democrats are not the women marginalized with an appointment. Huh? Yes. Or they can then a group of people have come together and said, "Men off your carrier to anno. Give my simba, no off here. But I say an off here and no other area. It's about a problem there. Not offer me, how idiot, problem there. For messages there, go my gen and get a total off, a gen and get a total, a potam, governor. I know about here, about Morocco, about Costa Rica, and Yagobia. I don't want to say more. But that's the way it works. That's the way life works. Okay? If joy is okay here, you must be part of it. Yes. And then here, or I say, I don't believe you get that as a matter of your constitutional right. I think when the Catholics never. Now, I was making a joke somewhere when I heard about that this kind of question with some Catholic priests. I said to them, "Now, if one not complain, that was what they had. If I never believe the Catholic, and I can get somebody made the announcement before another worldly. Now, Jamal said they are some Makamado Nina. And then I told you that so it's not even available for Catholic in the offers of select few. So the point is that patronage, appointments or patronage. And I don't care about it, but on this way get on that, they get patronage. I'm being as blunt as I can possibly be. Over I say I'm biased and I yes or he's away get that. On this no back he get good yellow, now if I get good along. You just ate again and there's a lot of people there. Oh, why in Japan you can and that's why we must rethink our politics and understand how Nigerian politics works, so that we can be part of Egypt and so that I here. We must. That's a big topic for another day. This is not the venue for it. On sustainability, legal framework to make successors to key into. I think that question has been asked in different ways about what happens after us. People ask me this question always. And you know my attitude to it is I've got to, you can't legislate politics out of public policy. You cannot. No matter what legal thing you put in there and so on and so forth, anybody who wants to change it, it will be overnight. It will get to the House of Assembly and they are going to change the same law the next day. They will enact a new law and change it. I mean, think about this country. Name anything that Biden did that Trump wants to change, that he will change. He may and a law, since they have control of both houses now, they will change it tomorrow. Is it? The only guarantee anywhere is the people themselves. It is the people. The organized people say no. And then when they look at the possible reaction of the people, that they will decide to go or not to go. That's the only restraint. Not any amount of clouds. Any plans for 33 Road? No. I have plans. Whether on a video next week or the week after, that I cannot tell you. And then I want to make a preface. This person can't whoever. I'm not in politics. But the usual way you get the amount of politicians, I am not one. I speak straight. I don't speak from four sides of the mouth. Come on, when you're brave, or even gas I wait to and see cheer. The man get politician will focus also me happen as you. It won't be free on living a quarter years. I also consider it done. And don't want to get I draw me to it. So get 33 road that I mention, not a more clear. Get this I get out of more can out of my hand. I see you. Oh, man, the trouble, they'll go. No. I have one because I was trying to get 33. Problem. If one I do every people they go 33, I get to see that's all. But now you right now, which idea? Let me say something about this flood history. That's not the name we want. One not about, not about, social media, Fulani harassment, Fulani. Let me tell you this, and I am speaking factual. I've been in office for 3 years and 3 months, okay? If we have arrested 100 criminals, non-mafia, kidnappers, and so on and so forth, 99.99% of them were Igbo. Did you hear me right? Yes. I said 99.99% of them were Igbo. So these things are America because that was part of the lie that was put in propaganda. They are into kidnapping because it is the next lucrative business after Yahoo and drug. The next one for find disabled, kidnapping. Omaka. But this is even other states. If I not where we do all Anambra. When you can have a village, if I got them outside of a joint, if one hour, they're 18 years a line. I want to lie mafia from my house to river. It is also on the Fulani. Let me, I repeat, and I want you to quote me right. 99.99% of all the criminals, kidnappers, and so on that were arrested so far, Igbos are the ones kidnapping Igbos. They are the ones killing Igbos. All these camps. Igbo. And by the way, because I came with the same false narrative. The false narrative that the Fulanis, they are invading our people. They are now everywhere. They are waiting for whistle to be blown. And and they will take over. And therefore, we are the ones who are the liberators. We are now going into the bush to go to chase out the Fulanis. Nobody asked the question. They are not an mafia to go and liberate you. How do they feed 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year? How do they feed? How do they feed? So that's, you see, like I said, I'm one of you, but I decided to go. Actually, in '99, I was a visiting professor at Soludo College. Okay? And I remember the last conversation of the finance sending for, because from there I moved down here to DC, to the World Bank, where I spent 18 months. I was just leaving and they were having a set forth party. And I remember the chairman of the department wishing that I could spend maybe a much longer time. My response was, a friend there called me several years to say how my response touched him, a white man. That's me, if God in his infinite wisdom decided to remember Africa, there must be a purpose. And I couldn't fulfill that purpose in this land. Here, that my marginal contribution to American civilization is next to 0.something%. But my marginal contribution to the advancement of civilization in Africa will be, you see how your presence elevates the quality of discussion and decisions, and so on. And tomorrow, one of the meetings in that game, that project, when I left Swatmore to the World Bank, I was a long-term consultant and we produced a book published by the World Bank in 2000 entitled Can Africa Claim the 21st Century? Now they just did 25-year anniversary of that. They just published that, and that's what I'm going to be the part of the meeting I am with. For me, if I Bokai Malo, Nabaya, Chukwemero, that mistake, we must intentionally go to rescue our place. A part of Ifeanyi Nwebo to fight these false narratives. I will propaganda and lies. Sabai so much. Sao nyobodisi. And that's to hide hideous criminality that is underpinning this. If any go they are no good. If any mortal, they are no good. What to do to get rid of Fulani Headsmen. Now let me add another statement about the Fulani Headsmen. When any community farmer, Abata PG, Town Union, Igwe, Maivalina. These people are clever. They rent the space. Now, what found in your community, go and investigate. And the Kavaka Fana put them on the Ugo. Apparently, that's their space. So you have an issue of property rights. Are you getting me? It's like a tenant. Somebody comes to your place, pays tenancy, and you lease your land to the person. And they say, so because this matter is not as trivial as it's, I've been able to now see through propaganda and reality. Propaganda and reality. And that actually brings me to, I think, the issue raised by my lady about Dubai, Omakabai, so hopelessness. If we win your hand, someone there, I say, I believe what we should never excuse evil. No matter any bad. Oh, because they demolish a shop over, and when will speak, let me tell you, I will not go to stand for evil. I know in politics, I'm on Igbo. I'm the immediate past chairman, Planning and Strategy Committee on an SND Igbo. I now on that issue statements. When you have the facts, I'm a fight to all that say quit notice for people in the north. But you have to speak with what? Facts. Well, I will not make a ridicule of myself. or whatever. I say in Eba, Obo Seba, Boilo. You just will hear shop. Actually, that day I can say, hey, shop on Debo. Why are you on Debo? Now, Abuja was in government. Okay, we find out to sanitize the place. Over 70% even demolished. Why? Never I mean there for green area. On the by I say, maybe I feel better than whatever. No, you go again. You will alone on which is sewage waste. No, why did you touch it? Oh, Kendibo. Na Anambra. When I came, the drainage, the channels really see about to River Niger. To Wangana, through River to Wangana. Which is here or not? Which is here Plaza. Munuka. I'm a Catholic, very devout one at that. But we brought down a Catholic church. We brought down one. And you will share the drainage. This is the size of the drainage, the Sakamori, the drainage. This is the size. Aside because of the travel, but then what you be able to say about for the mobility. Or if I got on my back. No, we have to pull it back, pull it down. But now that you mentioned this guy, can I make it alone and here? Here is remark. Oh, God, you're my God, hey. But the consequence of building on the flood channel, but that people were dying every year because the flood could not find a way into River Niger. So every year flood and they go market. In fact, 3 UPS staff died 2 years before I assumed office. 3. Because really water must find its way. The flood was so heavy, couldn't find it. They were just driving the flood into the drainage and they were drowned. When after we finally cleared up and water flooding could now get to River Niger, I entered one primary school, one secondary school. We drove in there in Afeke. And the only speech made there by the vice principal was to thank us that with this thing we've done, that now this thing empties into River Niger. That two of their students died the previous year. Flood. This is the water channel. The same way we go elsewhere. What we must not do, responsible leadership. Responsible leadership requires that we must tell our people, you must behave responsibly. Wherever you go, you obey the laws, obey the rules. You cannot be here in America if you just go contrary to the rules. How can I buy a rule of Fraka? Well, yes, you can do it. You just come and go and misbehave and get involved in all manner of illegal activities. Then when you are caught, and the governors will come out and begin to say, why did you? Get the facts first. If they were being targeted specifically, or were informed, because some of them also are relations. They to say, and I will come out together to speak out, but to be seen to be speaking out. That is called foolishness. It's not speaking, it's foolishness. If any leader is going to condone and thereby encourage evil, that's not leadership. That is foolishness. And we won't have such a thing. Nnamdi Azikiwe did not behave that way. Nnamdi Azikiwe rarely spoke. And when he spoke with the facts. And that is the Igbo land that we must get back. We must get back where we tell our people, play by the rules. Play by the rules. People called me. I need to join with them out for you. I will let them govern. Give me your papers. I will let them govern. My colleague. Say that about it. Now, existing infrastructure on the airport, I can tell you, yes, we're working on it. The erosion agro-Newi, yes, actually, I don't know if you know. Nelson actually sent me stuff, I think, was that 2 days ago? Yes. He sent me stuff which I shared with the contractor and the commissioner. And immediately the contractor also responded and the commissioner responded, which I forwarded to Nelson and I'm sure they are dealing with that. Anambra Patriots, thank you very much. How to empower our youths and graduates? That's a long one. But one thing I must tell you, I mean, if you listen carefully here, you would have seen stuff we're doing in the area of tech that have benefited tens of thousands of our youths. Then we have this innovative skill, which I think has now been made a federal program as well. 1U2 skills. We've now elevated to 1U2 skills plus, because we're including mentorship and mentorship and cooperative movement. We article you learn particular skill for like about 12 months or so. You become the expert in that field. Then we'll give you entrepreneurship skills and then give you seed capital to start. We did that for the first 5,000 of them, and about 3,000 of them described themselves as young millionaires. They themselves are now training others by themselves, that they themselves will empower. And we have 8,700 that are about to graduate either this month or next month, and we have billions that we also give to them. Our own form of empowerment is to create future employers of level. And that's very successful so far. The most successful youth empowerment thing. Now, not just to get money and hand over to them, as it were. Security partnership with local government communities, CCTVs, we're already doing that. We need intelligence. I appreciate that. That's part of what we're doing now with these CCTVs and the partnerships at the local level. You see, the Agune Chamber, let's wait for them to finish.
Madam, biko nyere na anyị aka, biko unu jụrụ ajụjụ ga anụ na ntị, please.
No, Fabido, they are on conclave, so we'll make them. Contact person for investment. I think that question has come a few times. You are here, and yes, you asked the same question. I think you need to provide contacts. Both our ANSEPA, Anambra State Investment Promotion and Protection Agency, for those wanting to invest, depending on which sector that you are interested, because you have various ministries, whether you are interested in agriculture, whether you are interested in industry, whether you are interested in housing, whether you are interested, depending on the sector. But if you speak with them, I think ANSEPA, and even my office, office of the Chief of Staff, Deputy Chief of Staff, they could, if there's one that requires my attention, they will be able to draw my attention. Why you go through this investment protection and promotion agency is that they have to first of all evaluate your proposal. and see that you are ready to go. Then they will come to us with a proposal, okay, would these people need land of this and so on and so forth. Commissioner for Land will locate the land thing and will know what you need. But let me say this. While we're talking about investment and security, you know, I said to people, and I say this all the time, people are sitting down doing their risk analysis and security because of what they're reading in social media, scared and all of that and so on. But all over the state, I think somebody mentioned it, even to buy a piece of land now for whatever it is, investment or whatever, it's super expensive. Super, super expensive now. Because there is a rush. They can analysis, they invest. So, as you were talking about others that they want to be deterring me, that's why I'm not invested. Because if you don't know me, don't bother if you can security you can every day, and show me what they are. Last week, I hosted this delegation from China, and there are about now 3 delegations. The last one now, they are bringing an automobile factory. We will also be commissioning another automobile factory in Anambra, and then Oma, and then Chinese are coming to have theirs. We were just talking, they're going back to come back again within the next 1 month, and so on and so forth. So, again, I said to people, when you come to invest, you're not doing anybody any favor. It's in your own interest. Because I want to be honest with you, there are very few places in the world where you have the kind of rate of return on investment that you have in Nigeria. Despite all the challenges. Very few places. Even if it is just land, you go land bank, within, I know when I opened the land, the road to above a million, then I go less they go to land 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. All of a sudden, you can buy with 10 million. The same plot of land. And people are scrambling and buying the same 10 million. Different money will say 200,000 if you bet you know that kind of rate of return. Do the math. And you know how many thousands of percent in appreciation that you get. But again, are we addressing the security thing? Absolutely. Is it where it should be? No. We are driving. There is no place with zero insecurity, but we are trying to drive it as much as possible to near zero as possible, particularly with this criminal gang that befell Igbo land. These kidnappers, that's who they are, that befell Igbo land in camps and all of that, organized criminals. They are kidnappers. Full stop. That's who they are. Now, contact person, the same thing. Security, a cook, VIP road or FIFA. Who to talk to for investment. Include teaching for pregnant women what to eat and shop. That's very good. Yes, see you. And the crisis line for women. Yes, Minister of Women Affairs. In fact, this presentation wasn't made about how many women, children that have been rescued, women suffering domestic violence and all those kind of stuff. Even though I said we get on wine, so wine can say we get on when physical food get forever, more get to go being battered by the wife. If I Caliban or that from what I need to be saved as well. what the show continuity, sustainability after us, Akodo and Dogachi. Yes. Let me tell you. I want us to appreciate one thing. When you read those and see those, you are as horrified as I am, given my background and where I've come from and what we call decency, as the case may be. I want to say one thing. They have gone on some training that as we speak now, there is a training program that is ongoing. There are code of conduct and so on and so forth being designed and being impacted. And then also monitoring and supervision to ensure that the bad eggs you keep on taking out. Several of them have been taken out and you keep putting more. But I want to put a footnote, very strong one at that. Well, I won't comment much on like my presentation on the opposite. I won't comment much on that. I'm sure that's been dealt with. That's what you saw the video. We saw the same video, spoken to the traditional ruler, spoken to some of the leaders. I'm sure some meetings have been held to deal with that. But while we go from here, who does this, who did that, and so on, who takes which blame, and so on and so forth, we're getting to the root of the matter. But let me put a quick footnote. And that is that you are in a society where you make almost like a war situation. The Maduguru Agodo themselves, Mebwe, Tuapi work, Junafianine, Nachun the Madu. One of the traders were no longer able to come down from all over Nigeria to shop in Onisha. And Onisha, all the markets were getting closed because of the menace, influx, people from all over, Onisha, Anambra, Kojaba. And they come there involved in all manner of heinous crimes. Now, the typical standard thing will catch them. Ijidefa, Moifa na yori Biko, Ujala police. Ifa na yori Biko, begin again. Ujala police. The next day, the man edgy and I say, work out, continue by one name. It got so bad so that these guys began almost unorthodox Anoba Johnson Wale Ajewe. So unorthodox even because they are near and the rule of law. And so they needed, I couldn't be saying this, the politically correct answer to that thing, oh yeah, we're looking into it. Women, on your politically correct answer. But I have also to say to you, and the response I'm with is so far. By that Eva, Eva at least, or I go by at least 60, 70%. I went to wine on Anapoya Coke. And they were the ones that, because I do this town hall meeting thing, I stop in markets and I walk the streets. And people will gather, you will find thousands of people gathering, and they start giving you feedback instant. And they were the ones telling me, thank you. Now people were getting that, I got the phone here. Thank you. So thanks by this hapless woman who could not walk. Then somebody thanking you. Now people they see all manner of parts of the country. They are so happy. And they are worried. Somebody told me a story from Obosi. Obosi. On some youths. When I complain to their people. Sigwa no eboma governor. Sigwa governor can their code rapuzi na cover code of age. So I drove her. But on my own fanako, now more on the name before dry and name. I say I shot over and do to I. So Jama Wesifa, Mwapusia di Jen, Karafara Puzi Kono. I say, Farapuzi Jack, because the guys are going to see it. But if I'm again, yes, one madam, one mother, when I call it. And so this guy decided he only get a hand over H is out the next day. No one was at the target. So when you get back to the bus, I got called if the map that way back. Not a very decent way. Are you getting what I'm saying? We're not saying that that is the, but I'm only giving you how the background to this. But we're evolving. We're evolving. I couldn't have even them. I get message on that don't care about. I get message I don't care about. I got police who say yes sir. And can I? Yes sir. But please come with me. Yes, sir. I get a back. But I'm the guitar. But then again, I was a police night. So, I think this trainings, yes, like I said, numbers to call, yes. About excesses, we have those numbers. Onye Uzo Nibo, we are taking care of that. I think they are getting assistance into that. Ojo to road, FIFA. I've talked about Obosi. Drainage. It will go drainage. I don't ask me, I'm a guy in votes, how to protect votes. You see, even in INEC, we haven't even spoken about the election mandate, and not even. I think that one, when the time comes, okay, election law, I get my campaign, I got to vote. And all I can say to you, okay, they leave for Nyamwanya. Active functional fire service department, now we do. I can tell you we've invested heavily in this regard. The fire trucks and so on that we have now, the response time, we publish this data. Opportunity for employment and so on, all those. I think donating 30 hectares, please give us. We have trauma center, the emergency room. I think it was shown here now. We're building a world-class trauma center. We finished, we're now equipping that to speak. Youth centers built by Indio Wu. If I can pull out your mobilize that on your own on a ban, they're not activate there. Youth of Oloifa Center can they work with her. They work with them on our law. But the correct answer was yes, the government Nadia. Government into everything, but they don't go no there. That's the point. A small Ifa Center can they work and let me respond on it here. I share your emotion. No. I mean, first and foremost, I hear you, and I saw the emotion. As if we were describing each local government. When you say they hear, without due respect to you, the report presents local government by local government, and they didn't mention Ihiala. No. So the premise of your intervention was so flawed. Because if we had done local government, but you say you didn't hear Ihiala. But let me also tell you, and now that you raise it, okay, we have about 7 FOBs forward operating bases on security. About five of them are in here local government alone. More than 30% of our security spending is only in here local government. And again, I will ask you, I don't want to, because we don't have time, I would have asked, what have you done lately yourself? Because, the same FOB I think no more. I think 5 they have a local government. 5. I can establish one more. The second and Lille and the boss. What I spend on monthly basis on security in here, we get the whole local government. You see, I don't know, you know what I'm telling you, because when I'm online. And come, I gave you what I just signed before I left. What I just signed before I left. The number of FOBs we have in our local government. But let me tell you, there is no place you find this level of criminality going without the connivance of the locals. We had the same FOB. There were 4 camps in Opo when I assumed office. There is none today.
You clear them all.
We cleared them, but then the local people, the people of Opo, rose to the occasion.
Yes, contributing.
And contributing. And
$1 million almost every 2 months.
oh, not $1 million. Okay, Naira. Now, you see, even this last week, the Air Force was also going to Osmo, because that's where they had their mother valley. All these people in Africa, they are all members. The amount of resources we are pouring in here, local government. There is no other place that we spend 5% of that. Actually, I go to wherever. I think Afonobi, let me respond to this, because I think Afonobi and I know you guys there's emotional attachment to your Afon. I will try as much as possible. Whatever can be preserved, but also I know the government is in discussion with the community about finding alternatives to Afon, to that location. Because part of the strategic change we are making, and we will be making in many places, that these markets that sprawl onto the road, we're trying as much as possible to move them back. In fact, after the interchange in that area, the rest of whatever may remain, we're going to fence it up with concrete. Got to fence it up. If you are going to shop, you go and enter through a gate and shop. Not in on a Bolonavia. Unfortunately, like I said, by the time the interchange and all the distance, because there you have 5 exits. You have the road to Agoro, you have the one to Newe, you have the one heading to Oba, you have the one heading to Mpo, and you have the one heading to Gloria. All in one spot. And you know, so what is being designed, your grandchildren will be very proud. You get that? You're like, Papa, no, you but I don't know. Then accommodating the shop of Amaifa, we're coming with what we call compassionate consideration. Not compensation. I need to separate the two. We're just giving them something just to say, I'm an because all these properties, shops and so on were built on the right of way. You see, Here, when you see a road passes this side, there is a distance between that and the place where you can only start developing. All these bits are part of the right of way. The setbacks. But in Kebai, Nabai will build step forward. We not only build the right of way, then we to drainage, and even from the drainage, they will put another cover. That wall. So the people that are affected are those who are on the right of way. That's what it is. What we're just giving them is out of compassion. To say, you shouldn't have been there. By the law, those people are supposed to be the ones to remove those things by themselves at their own cost. So when you say there are demolitions, those are demolitions that the owners ought to have done by themselves and borne the cost. Because they are not supposed to build any immovable structure on the right of way. What you can put there in a container was actually a group container. But you can't go there and dig foundation. It's illegal. You are contravening, you are building on somebody's property. It's not yours. So when you talk about ancestral and people don't know. Now once a road passes through your place, that if is in combat. They don't know that. So, because all these highways that you apply pass through people's ancestral homes. All. They pass through people's ancestral homes. And you can make a good omelette without breaking some eggs. And I think the last thing I want to say is, yeah, I get all your suggestions and so on and so forth. And but I'd like to get more, as it were. And hello? Yeah, I want to get some more. Or when the people who didn't have a chance to ask and I didn't answer because so the time is up, and the time is actually up. We need to get all the feedback from all of you, because this way we can then build that state of our dream. Each of us, praying and ever, at the end of the day, each person there is on 6 feet. So, but let's do, while we are still on the stage, let's make each hour to count. Let's make each hour to count. Just like I will tell my friend, our brother from Ihiala, that, and what I just said to you is what I said, I engage a lot. Yeah, the delegations I received from Ihiala, and the resources will keep pouring. In fact, much of before the last one I received was from, from this community that I just mentioned now. Lilu, the entire community came. And I will give you an example with that community and the Mbosi. But Mbosi has largely been liberated now. Those communities, even the third road, they dig them open and lay IEDs around the lines. That when the military comes with their heaviest of equipment, they are damaged. You can't pass. Come there, they detonate it, or while you the equipment. Even I go hundreds of thousands of dollars. It will be no repair. Governor Wetego, Governor Menka, and Megidia, Ghana Army Barracks. I was there the other time. You may have heard I donated 39 million. Then they amputated. Then they found IEDs all over here. So it is a thing that, and I say it to every person, Okija resolved it. And we have 2 major road projects going on there. In Ihialata, we have a major road project ongoing there. We've completed one in Uli, and we just awarded how many, almost 4 billion, if a contract to fix the university there in Uli, and so on and so forth, and the roads and so on, fixing, getting the university to rise again. But your people must rise up and work actively with government, just like Okija Town did. Okija Town rose up and to retrieve their community. And we have 2 road projects being one already completed, another one getting completion. Because contract leaders said thereby, the indigenous themselves are part of the kidnapping gang. They are part of the criminal gang. And will spend tens of millions, not hundreds of millions, on that place every month. I mean, I think we can do much better. I'm more than willing to engage you afterwards, because I would want to ask anybody that raises this, and I ask the person, so what have you done lately for your own people, as it were, because others are doing quite a whole lot. It is the people, it is the domestic. You can't liberate a people any place without the active collaboration by the community, because all the community will 80% of the problem. Nobody can come from anywhere else and settle in your community without the community saying welcome. Not possible. Anyway, I can tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, Anambra is on the rise. Anambra is on the rise. And together as partners, we will all raise that state to the place that God has destined it to be. Anambra is on the rise. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Please, on the flyer that we have been sharing, my phone number is there. If you WhatsApp me, I send you my email.